Welcome to Wise Flow, your gentle guide to learning English in a way that feels natural, comforting, and inspiring. Have you ever stared at an English book and felt completely lost, like you're looking at a puzzle with no edges? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Reading in English can feel overwhelming, even scary. But what if we could make it feel like a peaceful walk through a garden instead of a maze? Let me take you on a journey. My journey. One that began with confusion and fear, but led to confidence, joy, and real progress. And by the end, you'll believe that you can take this journey too. No rush, no pressure. Just real simple steps that work. Simple steps that changed my life, and can change yours too. Chapter 1. The first page, A New Beginning. I remember the first English book I ever held. It was small, almost like a toy. The cover had bright, colorful pictures, and although I couldn't read the title, I knew one thing. It was in English. I opened the first page with excitement, but as my eyes scanned the words, my mind went blank. I read the sentence again and again. The letters were familiar, but the meaning escaped me. I felt lost. I closed the book and sat silently. Will I ever be able to read in English? I asked myself. My heart whispered, maybe not. But somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice said, try again. The next day, I listened to that voice. I opened the book again, looked at the pictures, and guessed what the story might be about. I traced each word with my finger, slowly sounding it out. I made mistake after mistake, but I didn't stop. Then, one day, I understood a line, just one line. It said, "The sun is up." I looked outside. The sun was shining, and I smiled. That sentence felt real. It felt like magic, a small victory, but it was mine. That first line was like planting a seed, a tiny seed of belief. From that day, I watered it with curiosity and care, and every time I understood another sentence, it was like seeing a small leaf grow. Chapter 2. Start small. Grow strong. Instead of grabbing a big novel or opening a dictionary, I chose a small children's book, one with big letters and clear pictures. The first sentence said, "This is a cat." I looked at the picture. I knew what a cat was. I said the word slowly, C-A-T. That tiny connection gave me a huge sense of joy. Next line, the cat is on the mat. I didn't know the word mat, but the picture helped. I saw the cat sitting on something flat. Ah, so that's a mat. No dictionary needed, just eyes, imagination, and a bit of trust. I read that book every day, not once, not twice, many times. Each repetition made the words more familiar. I didn't aim to finish the book. I aimed to understand it, to feel it. That made all the difference. Reading became my habit, my quiet morning ritual, my bedtime comfort. Some days I was tired or lazy, but I reminded myself of my dream, to read menus, signs, messages, and stories. That dream kept me going. I found more books, simple ones, about animals, toys, and families. Every book became a stepping stone, a small victory, a moment of joy. Chapter 3. Use your finger and your voice. At first I read with my eyes only, but my brain was slow to keep up. I'd jump from line to line and quickly lose track. Then my teacher gave me a simple tip. Use your finger. Use your voice. At first I was confused. Wasn't reading a quiet activity? But she explained, reading is not just for the eyes, it's for the whole body. So I tried it. I opened my book. I placed my finger on the first word. This. I read it out loud, then moved to the next. Is. Then, and finally, dog. It felt slow, but it also felt clear. My voice made the words real. My finger kept me focused. I didn't skip lines. I didn't get lost. My whole body was involved, and I remembered more. Even my speaking improved. Reading out loud was scary at first. I whispered in my room behind a closed door. But slowly, I grew more confident. One day I read to a friend. He smiled and said, "You sound good." That moment stayed with me. It told me, you are not just learning to read, you're learning to believe in yourself. Chapter 4. You don't need every word. In the beginning, I used to stop every time I found a new word. I'd open the dictionary, look up the meaning, and lose the flow of the story. It made reading slow. It made it boring. I wasn't enjoying the story. I was just translating. But then I discovered something important. You don't need to know every word. I read a story about a girl and her dog. The word leash confused me. I looked at the picture. The girl was holding something attached to the dog. I guessed leash must mean that thing, and I was right. That guess gave me confidence. From then on, I stopped trying to understand every single word. I used the sentence, the picture, and the context. And I always learned something, even when I guessed wrong. If I understood 70% of a story, I kept reading. If I understood less, I chose an easier book. I also began writing down just 1 or 2 new words from each page. Slowly, my vocabulary grew. Naturally, joyfully. Reading became a game of discovery. Every unknown word was not a problem. It was a mystery to solve. Chapter 5. Easy Stories. Big impact, one of the best things I ever did? Making friends with easy stories. One day I picked up a small book. The title said, Tom Has a Kite. The first line made me smile. Tom has a kite. The next, he runs in the park. I could imagine it. I could see it in my mind. That simple story became my friend. I read it again and again. I knew the ending, but it didn't matter. It gave me comfort. It gave me confidence. I found more books like it. They were called graded readers, stories written for English learners. They came in levels. I started with beginner books. Each book gave me something new, a laugh, a lesson, or just the joy of understanding. One story changed me deeply. It was about a boy who wanted to be a singer. People laughed at him, but he kept trying. In the end, he sang on stage. That story stayed in my heart. It reminded me of my own journey. Stories are not just practice. They are mirrors. They show us who we are and who we can become. Chapter 6. Daily drops make a river. I used to think I had to read for hours to improve, but that's not true. What changed everything was reading just 5 minutes a day. That's it. At first I read when I felt like it, but I wasn't consistent. I forgot words. I lost focus. Then I created a new rule. Read every day. No excuses. 5 minutes a day. Before breakfast, same book, same routine. After 1 week, I felt a difference. After 2, I was faster. After a month, reading was part of my life, like brushing my teeth. I read when I was sad. I read when I was tired. Even one line helped me feel better. Reading daily is like watering a plant. Small drops every day. And one day, you'll see the flower. And that flower is fluent. That flower is freedom. Chapter 7. Be the Shadow. Shadow reading. One day, I was watching a cartoon. The characters spoke slowly. I turned on the subtitles. I read and listened at the same time. Then I started repeating the lines out loud. Let's go to the park. I said it with the character. My voice became their voice. That's when I discovered shadow reading. It means you follow the speaker with your voice, like a shadow. I began doing it every day with short videos. I listened, read, and repeated. I copied the rhythm, the tone, and the emotion. I was not just learning English. I was living it. At first it was hard. I made mistakes. I laughed at myself. But I kept going. After a week, I spoke faster. After a month, I sounded more natural. My confidence soared. Shadow reading helped me speak not just with words, but with feeling, with energy, with life. Chapter 8. Right to Remember. After finishing a story one day, I asked myself, what did I learn? So I picked up a notebook and wrote one sentence. Tom runs with his kite. It was short. It was simple. but it helped me remember. I began writing every time I read. A sentence, a summary, a new word, a feeling. Sometimes I wrote letters to the characters. Dear Tom, I like your kite. Writing helped me keep the story in my heart. It made the reading experience deeper, more personal. And I could see my growth page by page. My notebook became a treasure chest, filled with my thoughts, my memories, my progress. Chapter 9. Read the world around you. Reading doesn't only happen in books. One day I saw a sign. Fresh fruits available. I understood it. I smiled. I felt strong. That's when I realized English is everywhere, on signs, menus, phone screens, labels, social media. Every small thing I read added to my knowledge. I read food labels, keep in a cool place. I read menus, chicken sandwich, cold coffee. I read texts from friends, see you soon. These were not lessons. They were life. Real English. Useful English. Even a cereal box became a teacher. Even a billboard became a lesson. Chapter 10. Reading changed everything. Looking back, I see how far I've come. I used to fear English. I couldn't read one sentence, but I didn't give up. One line at a time, one book at a time, one day at a time. Reading gave me confidence, peace, joy. It changed how I think, how I speak, how I feel. It helped me in school, in life, in everything. English became a friend, a part of who I am. So here's my message to you. Start small. Start today. One line, one page, one story. Keep going. Don't stop. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to begin. Because every word you read is a step toward your dream. And I believe you can do it. If this story inspired you, like this video and share your first book in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Wise Flow for more simple, powerful stories to help you grow in English. Let's learn. Let's read. Let's grow together. You're not alone. You're on a journey. And Wise Flow is walking with you every step of the way.